Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Science with Jake. We are going to be talking about the neuron today, and before we start, since this is the first episode, I think we should have a brief little introduction. My name is Jake Mokler. I'm taking a class called Animal Physiology, Principles of Animal Physiology, and I'm also a neuroscience major. So I thought, you know what, let's focus on neuroscience. Let's talk about the nervous system. Let's talk about it in a way that anyone could understand. I want these videos to be digestible for a student that's maybe studying animal physiology or neuroscience or biology, but I also want these videos to be able to be understood by the average person. Like, I want my parents to be able to pick up this video, watch it, and say, yeah, now I know what that means. So without further ado, let's get into the first episode. Question of the day: what is a neuron? Neurons are what allow us to think, move, feel, sense the world around us. Did you know you had 86 billion of these neurons in your body? If you were to stack them like dollar bills, they would go to the moon and halfway back. That is insane. A dollar bill's this thin. That's a tiny little thing. You got 86 billion of these things in your body. Just wanted to get you a little bit excited because that's what we're going to be talking about here. They do so many things for us, and we got to give them a little bit of credit by understanding what they are. So let's talk about the structure and then a couple different types of cells that also exist, not just neurons, but cells that sort of support the nervous system as well. 3, 2, 1, cue the overlay. I pointed up here, so I figured I'd show myself up here, but actually let's move a little. As you guys see, we have a diagram of the neuron, but let's first figure out what is a neuron. So a neuron is a basic unit of the nervous system. It's basically the main cell that's designed specifically to transmit electrical signals that we're going to talk about a little bit, called action potentials, or that's essentially what the signal is. We'll get there. Don't worry, we're going to get there. But for now, let's just focus on the first part of a neuron, which is up at the top. Those are called dendrites. They're basically like antennae that receive information from other neurons or other cells. Next, we have the huge piece up there called the cell body. You may also hear it called a soma. And again, all this is the body. This is what contains the nucleus of the cell and keeps the neuron alive and functioning. Then as you see, we have the axon. That's this long strip right there. The axon is basically like a long cable that transmits this electrical signal away from the cell body down towards what we have at the bottom here, our exon terminal. But before we can get there, we actually see these little yellow things wrapping around the axon here. These are called the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath is made of protein and fatty substances that basically provide insulation and actually speed up the electrical signal that travels down the axon. Then we reach the axon terminal, which I am in the way of. I'll move out of your way. You can see these things right here. These are similar to the dendrites in that they have these spines, sort of long-reaching pieces that allow them to communicate with other neurons. They're going to be what sends this signal from one neuron to the next, or to maybe a muscle cell or other cells. And that little piece down here, this space right here, that's going to be your synapse, which we're going to talk about in a future video. But for now, just think of it as like a gap between two neurons or a neuron in another cell. So yeah, that's a neuron, guys. You know all the pieces now. I mean, obviously it's way more complex than that, more than I even understand. For now. One day I'll know it all. But right now, that's all you need to know. We're going to figure out next about the different types of cells that sort of support these neurons. But you can find that in my next video. Thanks for watching.